Someone asked, is it true that someone big will adopt Litecoin for their services soon without mentioning any names?
I don't know. I don't have any insider information in terms of knowing that someone big is going to adopt Litecoin. Possible. Unfortunately, it's not something. And even if I did, I can't say anything. So, no. The answer is no. But I mean, well, I would expect that Litecoin will the ball has started rolling, and we'll get more and more bigger names adopting Litecoin. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to it as much as your viewers.
What is up, everybody? Crypto Hedge here with another live stream update. I hope everyone had a fantastic weekend as we approach the end. Today is Sunday, and Bitcoin is going up on a Sunday. Broke $6,000 today. Actually broke through $6,000 and went up. And went up to $6,200, a little bit above that. And I don't think it's done yet. We're going to get into everything. We're going to get into the altcoins, what's going on right now. We have another fork mid-November. We're going to go over Vertcoin, of course, and we're going to go over Litecoin. A lot of speculation is going to be brought into this video. A lot of good speculation. And we're going to get started here shortly. I'm going to check out the chat box briefly. We have 181 hedgers in the live stream right now. Welcome, Hedge family. Welcome everyone that's in the crypto campus. I hope you guys are doing fantastic. What is up, everybody? China is back in. I know I've been seeing a lot of people talking about how China is back in the game, and they never really left. I mean, I don't know how many times they've juiced the FUD in Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies in general. And they announced that a while back that China never left. They're only going to have like 1 or 2 exchanges that are going to be active, but they never left. And I think that when they come out and start pumping this, that they never left once they, I mean, they already said that, but once they come out and say that, we could see some pretty interesting things. I actually did plan this ahead, but I didn't get this finished. So I'm going to get in the browser right now so we can get poppin'. Hope everyone's doing fantastic. Make sure to smash that like button, of course. Smash that like button and subscribe to my channel. Also follow me on Twitter. It's @CryptoHedge_. Everyone in the crypto campus is super happy right now. I'm sure we have some people that are in the crypto campus that are here right now. I don't know if you guys can chat in the chat box. What's up, Joey? We got Joey Profit. Joey's one of our people in the crypto campus. All right, let me get this popped in here. Enough of me flaunting, right? Let me get this in here. Alright, let's get started. Is your website working? I signed up and paid 4 days ago and still no access to your members' features. The website is still in beta, so we request that nobody signs up on the website. If you do sign up on the website, make sure to reach out to either me or Jeffrey. His Twitter handle is @DayTradeJeffrey, so reach out to him if you did do that. The website's still in beta. There's still a few things that we have to get cleared up. Yeah, I mean, that's that. So don't sign up on the website yet. I mean, it's not done yet. But this is the website. I mean, this is the website over here. Let me get I gotta get my face back up in here. Let me get my, sorry for the delay. One moment. I'm getting notifications. I'm gonna turn my volume down here. Let me pop this so my screen is looking good. I try to make it look like it's decent. There we go. There we go. Alright, so yeah, the website is still in beta. You can see in the top section here, it says beta. I mean, you can look right here. This says loosing. So I actually didn't create the website. A developer in the Netherlands created it. So English is not the first language. I still have to go and proofread all this, but it's getting there. It's getting there. So it's still getting spicy. Don't worry. What's up, Carl? What's up, Johnny? Glad to have you. Johnny, we need to make you a moderator real quick. We're going to get really into details today, just like we always do. It's going to be a good live stream. Oh, man, I got to get you as a moderator. All right. Beautiful website coming from a sales and marketing expert. Very well done. Thank you, Paul. Paul, you're one of my day one followers. Shout out to Paul. Very glad to have you right now. Hopefully we don't push this live stream to be too long. I'm trying to make this live stream a little bit short today, so just a little bit. Alrighty. I'm gonna pop Bittrex into here. I'm not bearish on Vertcoin. I'm gonna tell you guys why I'm not bearish on Vertcoin. And I know, you know, it's kind of, it blows my mind. It's like, I'm gonna go on a little rant here. It's gonna be like a little Oreo cookie. Gonna have some positivity, gonna have a little bit of a rant. But, you know, it's crazy how people tell me, you know, oh yeah, you're pump and dumping Vertcoin, you're pumping Vertcoin, like, you know, it kind of blows my mind because, you know, I don't even need to defend for myself anymore. I really don't. I mean, I literally don't even defend for myself anymore because my followers defend for me, which is freaking awesome, that I have such a great following on not just Twitter, but YouTube as well. So it's like, people that think that I'm shilling Vertcoin and pump and dumping it, like, you really need to understand that you're either a new follower or you haven't been following me for that long. I've been following Vertcoin. I've had the lead developer on my YouTube channel. I did an interview conference with him. I believe in the technology, so I'm not here shilling and moving markets or whatever you think that I'm doing with Vertcoin. I simply got in at a much lower price, and I am doing technical analysis on more than a daily basis, every single day, following this, which I keep updating you guys on as well. So for anyone that thinks that I'm just pump and dumping, you are just outright, you know, wrong. I think anyone in the chat box can say that as well. So I just wanted to clear that up. And, you know, I did ran a little bit on Twitter today, but let's go look at Vertcoin real quick. You can see, I mean, Digital Note was another coin we can talk about. Digital Note did 140% today, which was insane. I didn't even know that happened until someone messaged me. I was like, holy crap, I wish I got into that trade. But that was one of those spontaneous, that was like a pump and dump type of trade. But you can see Vertcoin right here. We had this top here. We had an ABC correction, which wasn't necessarily an ABC correction. It was, you could say that this would be the B right here. It'd be like an A, B, C, but it's very small. Nothing, you know, nothing big. So we had almost like a double bottom here, which didn't even reach out to be a double bottom. We had actually a higher low, which brought us to this high here. I mean, I'm sure a lot of you guys watched my previous live stream talking about that, where we had the higher low, and I was just waiting for it to explode. You guys see my tweets every day, so I'm constantly updating you guys on Twitter. I knew this run was going to happen. I didn't have any doubt of that happening. I know everyone in the crypto campus, right before this run happened, I did a live stream with the crypto campus saying that if I was going to get into any position in Vertcoin, it would have been right at this bottom here. So I was like, this thing is going to take off, and it did, which is fantastic. Now, I don't think it's done yet, and we're going to get into the nitty-gritty details, like full tilt on why I don't think it's done yet. So I'm going to give you guys full-fledged on, you know, why I do think it's going to continue to go up. I talked about this in the crypto campus. I was expecting a double bottom with Vertcoin. I don't think it's going to fall below. I mean, we can use these crappy tools here on Bittrex, but I don't think it's going to fall below this support right here, which is where the previous all-time high was. Not all-time high, but the previous high, as you can see over here. So I think it's going to double bottom and continue to go up. I didn't sell at the top here. Plain and simple, excuse me. I didn't sell the top here. I literally just kept hodling. I know that there was going to be a sell-off. I am going to keep hodling. If anything, I'm buying the dips, which I am doing. You have seen manipulation of the order book. Excuse me. Sorry, guys. You have seen manipulation of the order book, which is normal. You don't trade the order book, plain and simple. That is just something that you do not do. I know some people advocate it. The last thing that I do on any trade, I don't care if it's a day trade, a long-term trade, swing trade, I don't look at the order book because it's manipulated 24/7, and that's that. So, with that being said, you know, it's fun to look at the order book sometimes, but, I mean, I do briefly look at it sometimes, but it's just not, you know, where I gauge my my trade. So, I'm expecting a double bottom here. We're going to get over to the charts real quick onto why I expect a double bottom. I'm going to make sure I have the chat box up and loaded here as well. I'm glad people are tuning in to the live stream. It's always good to catch me live, right? 264 people tuning in. Make sure to smash that like button. I bought during that dip. So happy. I gotta admit, I did as well. I did buy at this dip. I was expecting this dip to happen. I'm gonna show you guys why. Oh my gosh, I keep saying I'm gonna show you guys why. So let's get over to the Vertcoin Bitcoin pair. Now, I have been looking at the VTC USD and also the VTC BTC pair, and I did post a chart today on the LTC USD. So I do trade USD occasionally. I do not trade Vertcoin USD because you simply can't. I don't trade Tether. I never have and I never will. We're going to get to one of the speculation on that as well as to, you know, the Bitcoin top and whatnot. We'll get to all that. If you guys are tuning in right now, it's worth to stay the whole live stream because it's going to get crazy just like it always does. But here we are. Now let's get to the 1 day for Vertcoin. Now, this is a scenario, guys. Like I said, I am not a financial advisor. I need to get that out of the way at the very beginning of the video. But this is a scenario. There's 3 scenarios we're going to go over. Now, if you look at this relative top here, it looks very much like all of... Let's get out the marker tool here. Looks like that. It looks like this. It looks like this. Looks like all of these relative tops that we're going to be moving down. I mean, you would not even compare it to these. You wouldn't even compare it to those because those were wave patterns. This would be the top right here. So I guess you could say this looks like this top that we saw off of the previous five wave finishing right here. So I guess you could say that looks like that, but not so fast. Because personally, and you guys have been following me on every single live stream, this would have been the top off of my target. This would have been the top right here. And if you guys look back at the live streams, you'll know that that would have been the top right here. So what I think, and like I said, this is not speculation, this is purely technical analysis. I think that right here, the beginning of this wave, right here, I've been in crypto since 2013, and the one lesson I've learned is that good crypto always stays around. For example, people were saying Litecoin would die back in 2011, and yet it never has. Good crypto is here to stay. Well, I don't think Litecoin is dying, absolutely. And what's up, the bad virus? It's nice to have you. Always giving me those super chats. Thank you. Now, if you look at this marker that I just did, let me make that in red. Let me make that thicker too. Now, this entire wave, I look for it to be one wave to an extent. I don't think I'm going to make too much sense on explaining this portion, but this looks to be one wave. We simply did not stop at this relative top here, and we kept going, which I also expected, which is one of the reasons why I didn't sell. I think that this coin will end up going to around $50. Do I think it's going to go to triple digits? Possibly in the long-term future, but I think that we're going to be finishing off that major finishing off of these waves at around $50. So I don't think it's finished yet, and I think that if you look at it right now, this is a scenario. If the daily finishes below this green support line, then that would be no bueno. That would not be good. If we finish above this green support line, then we'll probably most likely see a major sell-off, bringing us to these lower levels, and possibly hit this support here at 37, or probably I want to say like almost 40,000 satoshis. If we break through this support at this level. So we'll have to wait for that to finish off on the daily. You guys should be doing the same thing on TradingView if you guys are going to be looking at what I'm doing. If we break through that, then that's no bueno. I don't care if it's a smidge below or not. That's not good, and we'll be moving down, which would be close to seeing like a top like this. But the goal would be to re-pick it up around 40,000 satoshis. But I am much more bullish than I am bearish, and we're going to get over to why I think that. I thought that this was the top here. It wasn't the top. We had a very long wick on this candle, and it brought us down to these lower levels. Now, we're looking at the daily chart right now, and if you look at the daily chart, you can see the RSI is diverging. It looks bearish. which it is. And if you look at the stock, it looks bearish, which it is. And if you look at the on-balance volume, it has spiked considerably. But it's still balanced, to be honest. And if you look at the volume spikes, we have the pyramid volume spikes here. But the volume is still at large here. And I was expecting that to happen. I never sold once, even at this relative top. Now, if you do a relative comparison, right here, if you do a relative comparison and you look at this point, it does look a lot like this. Okay, that was absolutely terrible. It looks a lot like this stock right here, position. So this is very well a scenario. We could be moving down, and that could have been the finishing of what could be a fifth wave. The fifth wave is usually always the longest, and we could be moving down right now. So that's one of the scenarios. Keep that in mind. But the other scenario, and we're going to get over to the 4-hour time frame for this scenario, because this is on the daily. So let's get to the 4-hour. And someone told me that they're like, you just can't buy the top. Like, this was around 100,000 satoshis was going to be the top. We didn't even hit 100,000 satoshis. We had to sell off before that. I don't know if people bought the top, but that's just not something you do. You sell into strength and you buy into weakness. But okay, so I'm going to show you guys on the 4-hour. You can see we had what looked to be almost a double bottom, but it was a higher low, and we moved to the upside here. Now, I think that this right here, this candlestick, this red candlestick, could end. It could end right here, and that would equal to the 0.618 fib level. This is another scenario, guys, so keep this in mind. We could end at this 0.618 fib level and then move on to a next wave, or we could end here, which would be the top of the fib channel here, which is still green because I'm waiting for this daily candle, which I'm hoping it ends above that, because that'll be, that'll just put my points on how much more bullish I am. But I think that we'll see a lot what happened with Decred. I know that we did the bearish Gartley. I'm going to pan that out right now. We had this bearish Gartley here. And it finished off completely. It moved to the upside. And then we had that pullback, which I was expecting, like I said. And I think that we are not going to fall too much lower than this support level here. I mean, if it does fall below that, then that is bearish, but I'm still hodling. I mean, enough said. I mean, until we move a little bit, I mean, if we move considerably lower than this level here, then I'll probably start selling off. Right here. I'm going to make that orange because that would be a level that I would start selling off at. But I'm still looking closely at this support level. We're at 69,000 satoshis right now. So, with that being said, let's go over to Decred, because I want to show you a comparative analysis on what Decred did. It's going to shock you guys, because it's been following Decred's path on the historical charts very closely. Let's get over to this. Oh, that's from the Crypto Campus Club. Alright, so let's move back here. We're going to point out another bearish Gartley with Decred. I showed you guys that bearish Gartley. My computer allows me. I'm going to delete these lines so that we don't get confused. There we go. Now if we look at Decred, once it started waking up around these lower levels, we saw another bearish Gartley. Let's pop this bearish Gartley in real quick. I would say that would be right there. Okay, so that would be the bearish Gartley to an extent. I think we should go on lower time frames, but we panned this out, the bearish Gartley. And then we moved up to the upside here. Should probably be doing lower time frames, but it's okay. We moved to the upside here, which this would have been the resistance at this level. And then we fell down. okay? And then what we did is we tested the previous high, which would be at this level right here. We tested that previous high with the candlestick ending above that. And this is on the 4-hour. And then we started moving, continuously moving to the upside. And if you look at this chart on Decred, look how much room there is to grow. Now this right here was where the end of that wave, that last wave was, and then we saw a considerable fall back down, testing that high that we had a few days ago with Vertcoin. But this is with Decred, so don't get it mixed up. So I still expect Vertcoin to do something similar to Decred, because if you look at Decred, there's just been a ton of bearish Gartleys, and we did this in the Crypto Campus. We mapped all of this out, and I'm gonna be publishing that live stream that I did with the Crypto Campus after all of this pans out the way I'm anticipating it panning out. So let's get back to Vertcoin. BTC. Alrighty, so Verti. Sorry if I'm taking a little bit of time here, guys. A lot of fantastic content that we're going to be covering in this live stream. Looks like Vertcoin's going down during my live stream right now. Oh no. So remember this orange line here? And there's been a continuous shakeout, so you guys looked at the order book. This orange line, we could reverse at this orange line, but if we break through that orange line, then we would be looking at a very bearish position that would bring us down to 40,000 Satoshis. So that is my analysis on Vertcoin. And I'm going to show you guys VTC USD just to show you. I mean, everyone in the Crypto Campus can tell you that we went over this before it even happened. So hopefully we can show. All right, yeah, this is a very intense analysis that I did with the Crypto Campus. So if you look right here, oh man, it looks fantastic. So this is the dollar ratio that I'm looking at. It's $4.34. So I'm basing this off of the USD value. I was expecting this chart was panned out a day and a half ago, and I was expecting to see the exuberance to bring down. Then another test to the support here at this red line, which would be the USD pair at $4.25, and then I'm expecting an explosion. We had that bearish Gartley. If we look at the Decred USD pair, we had that bearish Gartley as well. But that's as much I'm going to cover for the USD pair for Vertcoin. So when it comes to the Vertcoin USD pair, I expect it to take off to double digits. So with that being said, even though you can look right here, we retested and had a double bottom on the Vertcoin USD pair, which we talked about in the Crypto Campus, and I expect from here on out, at this position that we're at right now, where this red line is the top of the fib level right here, 100%, I'm expecting us to move up to double digits. So that's with the VTC USD. VTC BTC is a little bit different, and I know some people trade Vertcoin Bitcoin pair. Look at that. We're already starting to move back up here. So that's my take on a Vertcoin. I'm not going to stress over it. And if you look at the 4-hour, you can see the stock is down here, waiting for some upside, and then the RSI still is not in overbought territory, brought down, and I expect it to slam to even higher overbought territory. Okay. So don't be giving away all my special analysis. We're not giving away any special analysis. But yeah, that's what I expect, guys. That's what I expect. I expect it to continue to the upside. Let's get over to Bitcoin, so we don't stress too much on Vertcoin. I'm not stressing. So if we get over to Bitcoin, let's look at this. I'm actually going to take this out of the box. I'm gonna make this larger. I'm gonna take my face out of the live stream so that you guys can see this better. Excuse my bad hair day. It's my Sunday relaxation day. All right, let's take that out right there. Perfect. Perfect. All right, so with Bitcoin, back to the same channel that we've been following. Now, look at Bitcoin right here. We almost had what looked to be a head and shoulders pattern forming. Let's get over to the head and shoulders. Okay, guys, we had a left head, right? We thought that was going to go down. Let's fix this real quick. There we go. I personally thought that this was going to go down. Okay? But it got invalidated. Totally invalidated. Absolutely, period, destroyed. No longer a head and shoulders. Now, if you look at the top of this price channel that we've been following consistently over a pretty long period of time, probably a week and a half, if not 2 weeks, probably 2 weeks, we just hit the top of that price channel that we're following. And I'm sure some of you guys have this on TradingView. You have it mapped out like I do. We have not broken through that price channel, which is a resistance. We actually broke out of it on the 4-hour, but it ended below that price channel. So the pretty long tail there. But what I expect with Bitcoin is, and we're going to zoom out real quick, I expect Bitcoin to break out of this price channel and follow what looks to be a very large rising wedge, which is mapped out in yellow here. Okay? Which would be the finishing of the fifth wave. Now the fifth Elliott wave is always the longest wave. And without doubt, you're going to see some consolidation. Wow, that was terrible. Why is there such a lag on the marker? You're going to see some consolidation on the fifth wave, according to how I trade. So, and although, you know, we had that head and shoulders pattern forming, that did make me fearful. And I thought that that was going to finish off and bring us to, you know, really, really low lows. But clearly we're moving to the upside. And I think people are starting to buy, if you look at the fundamental side, I think people are starting to buy Bitcoin because of the fork that's happening mid-November, okay? So that's what I think is happening right now, and I think that can bring us to the top of this rising wedge. Now, do I think that it's going to bring us to the tippy top of this rising wedge? I don't think so. I think it's possible because, you know, 8,000 is a round number. We seem to see, you know, through the historical charts, round numbers are definitely played off nicely. But I think that we'll probably see, and I'm going to map it out here real quick, we're going to see this, we're going to hit the top of this rising wedge at like around 7,000. 7,000, perfect even number for this rising wedge. Then we're going to fall down to the downside at the bottom of this rising wedge, and then we're going to move back up to the upside, which would bring us to a perfect 7,500. I'm going to remap that out real quick so you guys can follow what I'm looking at. Okay, back down, and then it would bring us to a 7,500. Now, could we hit 8,000? Absolutely. But is the risk to reward ratio very slim? Also absolutely. So pushing it to that 8,000 I think would be a risky move. If you buy at 7,500 thinking that this thing is going to absolutely go to 8,000, I think that's extremely risky. So this is what I'm looking at for it to play out. It's going to hit the top of this price channel, which is $7,000. Perfect top to see a little bit of a retracement back to the bottom of this rising wedge and then a move up to 7,500. Now, if you look at the historical charts, when we saw this top right here off of the first wave, no, I think it's actually, no, I can't even make a relative analysis on that, but we could very much hit $8,000, but I think that the first target would be like 7,500, and then you would be playing poker getting to 8,000, falling out of this rising wedge, and then we would see, after the fifth wave, there's usually a pretty extensive ABC correction. Now that ABC correction could literally lead us to, let's go look at this real quick. Now, if we do hit 8,000, let's say we hit 8,000, because that's really where the rising wedge does end, we would see like an ABC pattern in a sense of kind of like this is what I'm banking on, which would be a lot more than the 40% decreases that we've seen this year, which with each wave, I think it would be more than 40%. It would be bringing us down to the $3,000 level. I do think that we're close to seeing a relative bear market. I'm not gonna lie, I think that's absolutely possible. You know, people wanted to get the free Bitcoin Gold, and now people want to get the free Segwit 2X. And then after that, they're going to be selling off. Now, does this mean that we're going to see a bear market for the altcoins, not Bitcoin, the altcoins? Not necessarily. It does not mean that we're going to see a bear market for the altcoins, but the chances are there. It's kind of 50-50 that we see a bear market for the altcoins, or we see them blast off because people wanted to get these free coins from these Bitcoin forks. Those are two scenarios. Keep them in mind. So that's what I think is going to happen with Bitcoin. Now, obviously, you do know that we have new money coming into the space. Could we blast through 8,000? Obviously, that's a possibility. Could we just fall from here? That's also a possibility. But I'm following this rising wedge from this point forward, and I'm also following this price channel that I've been following for the past 2 weeks. And I think that once we hit the top there, if you look at the daily chart, I think, let's go to the daily chart for Bitcoin. We're due for a correction, especially after the fifth wave. We're due for, a relative correction. But I'll be updating you guys, obviously, if, anything can happen in crypto. Crypto's volatile as crazy. So you can see the stock, we're waiting for some upward movement. The on-balance volume is steady. The RSI became overbought, still not overbought right now, and I think it's going to become overbought again as we move towards these higher levels, either 7,500 to 8,000. So now with my speculation with this, hold on one moment, guys. I got to take a sip of water. Now, my speculation with this, let me pop in my face so that you guys can, actually, it's not even going to work out. My speculation with this is that, like I said, I don't know if this is going to bring on a full tilt, bear market where you exit all markets because we hit the top here, simply because of the forks. The reason why we're seeing a driving price with Bitcoin is because people are trying to get this free money, okay? And after all that happens, I'm expecting, a pretty extensive bear market for Bitcoin. Now, could the ABC correction be like this, bringing us down to a relative $5,000? Absolutely, but it can also be bringing us down to $3,000. Now, usually, Bitcoin leads the way. So if we see a relative bear market with Bitcoin after this fifth wave, we could see a full tilt bear market for everything, not just Bitcoin, but also a bear market for the altcoins, unfortunately. Now, here's another scenario. We're going to go over this real quick. And this also has to do with June, July of this year. I told you guys we're going to see an altcoin party kind of like what we saw in June, July. And I think we're going to see a Bitcoin run kind of like what we saw with June, July. Now, let's get to this. Hold on one moment. Now, when Bitcoin made this huge first wave run, the altcoins were running with Bitcoin. Now it's a little bit different now, since people are getting these free coins and they want to sell them off, and that's why they're buying Bitcoin, and the price is going off compared to this 5,000 drop-off that we saw here. Not even the 5,000 drop-off before that. At the end of this first wave, we saw a huge drop-off because of the last fork. Now people are smart. They're like, I'm going to get free coins. We're going to get up to these levels. I don't doubt that at all. Now, I'm still expecting a run, kind of what we saw in June, July of this year. We know that Bitcoin, at a specific point in time, we saw the altcoins start to rally with Bitcoin. Now, are we seeing that right now? We're literally seeing that right now. And that kind of comes in tune with digital note, XDN. Let's go over to XDN. Let's see, digital note Bitcoin pair, right here. I'm going to show you guys. So, what we saw here, we saw a fat run, 140% run. Look at that volume spike with digital note. We are seeing the altcoin party is active. It's not waiting to start after the SegWit 2x, in my opinion. It's not never going to happen. Bitcoin dominance is huge right now. But we're still seeing an altcoin party. Kind of what we saw in June, July. Not all of the altcoins are participating, but a lot of them are. I mean, even Sia Coin, Sia fell off the chandelier after she was swinging off of it. But Sia Coin could wake up. Not saying it will, but it's possible. So seeing that XDN and all of these altcoins that have been sleeping for so long are actually seeing some upside, this could be a sign that as Bitcoin approaches these higher levels up to $7,500 or $8,000, that these altcoins are going to rally with Bitcoin finishing off this fifth wave. Now, like I said, could this fifth wave end at 8,000 or 7,500? Absolutely not, okay? The fifth wave on the Elliott wave theory is the longest wave, okay? So, I mean, Bitcoin could go to $10,000, okay, before we actually see a relatively large bear market. Keep that in mind. You have to watch it closely, and obviously I'm going to be, keeping up with updating you guys. But you know, there's multiple scenarios playing out right now. We have China that supposedly is about to start, you know, coming out with some super bullish messages, and then we have people talking about Bitcoin. You know, everyone and your mother, I mean, I bet your grandma has watched the news and she's, you know, hearing about Bitcoin because her grandson is in Bitcoin, okay? So keep that in mind. I mean, we are in uncharted territory with not only Bitcoin, but the entire cryptocurrency market. We have hedge funds, we have institutional investors getting into this market. Like I said, China coming out with probably more bullish news. So we could very well hit $10,000 before we start seeing a pretty large pullback from this fifth wave. I'm just saying, once we do approach the end of this fifth wave, I'm expecting a pretty large bear market. I mean, it could be a year long. It could be a half a year long. I'm expecting a bear market that's going to be more significant from these intra waves that we saw leading up to the fifth wave. The fifth wave is always longest. But I personally am betting on an $8,000 or $7,500 Bitcoin and a breakdown. The other scenario, we go straight to $10,000, which would literally mirror this first wave we saw in May, June of this year. Now, I mean, literally the third scenario that I'm not banking on at all is that we move down from here. Okay, I don't expect that to happen. If anyone expects that to happen and they're a trader, you need to look back at your analysis, because the last scenario that I think is going to happen is that we move down from here. I expect us to at least go to 7,500, maybe 8,000. Could go to 10,000. That's, you know, with the fundamental analysis part of things, that's a possibility. But this is the scenarios I'm looking at, and I'm looking at pretty in-depth ABC correction after we either hit 10,000, 7,500, 7,800, following this relatively large rising wedge. So keep that in mind. Now, if we do hit $10,000, that would be precisely mirroring this first wave here. Okay, guys? I mean, heck, we could hit $12,000. The fifth wave is the longest. That's all you need to know. And calling tops on the fifth wave is probably the hardest thing you can do, because it's the longest, and it's not percentage-based either. So it's very hard to call a top on a fifth wave. That's just a tip of advice. But like I said, I'm not going to keep repeating myself. That's what I think of Bitcoin. I do think we're going to continue up from here. When I have some notes here I want to also go over, and I have some other coins we're going to go over too with the altcoins. What is Vertcoin at? Just so I don't go crazy. Yeah, so Vertcoin's at 72,385 Satoshis. Let's see on the fib level here that it's still keeping up. Actually, on the daily, it actually ended up below right here, but it's moving to the upside. So, I mean, there we have it. I'm not, you know, just gonna sell anything until if we do hit or pass this level here at the orange line on the daily. But on the 4 hour, you can see, and I told you guys I'm precisely following the USD pair. We had that bearish Gartley. We actually fell through there. No bueno for that, but at the same time, I'm waiting at this orange level to be transparent for me to think of any sell-off to go down to these lower levels at 40,000 Satoshis. Looks like we're moving up right now. A lot of manipulation in the order books. I'm expecting what looks to be kind of like what happened with Decred. Oh, awesome. I'm not even looking at this while I do the live stream. If you look at these blue lines here, it's very, you know, I'm trying to explain my analysis as good as possible, but I'm going to mix up my words and you cannot beat me up for it. But if you look at this blue line, this price channel that I mapped out probably over a week ago, we just bounced off of that price channel. Pretty freaking awesome. Ain't it so? I didn't even notice that. But yeah, guys, so really looking at the USD Vertcoin pair, I expect, and you guys want to hear it from me, I expect to not only hit $10. $10 is not my goal for Vertcoin. You know, I know I keep saying on Twitter, oh, you know, Vertcoin wants to be $10. That's not my goal. My goal for Vertcoin is like almost double that. So keep that in mind. I'm told you guys I'm not going to be giving out targets simply because we have people that are in the crypto campus and I have to be devout to that. And it's not even just that. It's that, you know, I can't give out targets. You guys follow me for everything else that I do, and that's why, you know, I really respect that. But I'm expecting more than $10 for Vertcoin, and I think, you know, everyone is pretty excited right now and happy with what Vertcoin has been doing. It's very undervalued. Excuse me. And they also have a jam-packed roadmap. You know, they released a Tor wallet. They released, what else did they release? I don't even remember. But, you know, they tweeted on Twitter, Vertcoin tweeted on Twitter that they're, you know, the Tor wallet is not the only thing they've been working on. What is something that they're working on, guys? They're working on an iOS wallet, and a Vertcoin iOS wallet, kind of like what the Loaf wallet with Charlie Lee. He created that wallet. I bet you James Lovejoy is creating that wallet right now. So I'm relatively sure that they are working on an iOS wallet, an Apple wallet to store your Vertcoin, kind of like the Loaf wallet for Litecoin. So there's still a lot of news to come out. They're going to be re-implementing stealth addresses. I'm not going to go over the whole 9 yards, but I'm still very bullish on Vertcoin, more so than I am on Litecoin. We're going to get to Litecoin right now. We already went over Bitcoin. Sorry if I'm jumping all over the place. I like to do this live as I speak. I'm pretty excited and impressed that we just literally bounced off of this this blue line, this price channel that I'm following that will bring us above 100 Satoshis. Without a doubt, I think we're going to go above 100,000 Satoshis. Now, I know before at the beginning of this video I was saying that if we fall through this green line here, I'm bearish. Not necessarily, because the Fibonacci is a rough estimate. Everything is a probability game. Technical analysis is a probability game. So we could have just literally finished this candlestick off down here, and we could still be moving to the upside. I'm contemplating on it, and I have not sold, like I said, period. Let's get over to Litecoin. I posted a chart today with Litecoin on what I think is going to happen. I'm still following it precisely. I did not tell you guys where my stop losses are, but we'll go over that live right now. Okay? Hopefully, I don't know if we have new people tuning in right now. Make sure to watch, you know, the beginning of this live stream, because we already went over Bitcoin and we already went over Vertcoin. I'm still bullish on both of them. And you remember, let's also keep in mind, Vertcoin on the last run that we saw a few days ago, Vertcoin was rallying with Bitcoin. And I think the same exact thing is going to happen relative, I know I keep using the word relative, but relative to the chart that we just looked at for Bitcoin. I think that, you know, Bitcoin's going to keep moving up following that rising wedge. Could fall out at 7,500 or 8,000, but that's also what I think of Vertcoin. I think Vertcoin's going to rally once again with Bitcoin, and it's still very relevant. So with Litecoin, let's get over to this. This is the 4-hour chart. Maybe I should look at the daily. I don't remember which one I made this chart on. I think I made it on the daily. All right, so with Litecoin, sorry. You guys know that I did my last forecast, my $100 forecast for Litecoin. Obviously didn't pan out as expected, and that's just happens. You know, it's a probability game. I'm never going to be 100% correct, I guarantee you. Just like I wasn't with my Ripple trade, and I did lose. That was one of my biggest trades that I lost out on. But everything else has, you know, compensated. So you guys know about my Litecoin forecast that I did a while back, that I thought that we were going to be, you know, continuing moving to the upside. I know my previous Litecoin forecast before that was literally 100% accurate on the dot. I think a lot of my OG followers know that. But so if you look at this price channel, we're following a precise price channel. And why is this price channel so narrow? You know, we have this large high over here. Why am I not following that? Why am I not following below that? Simply because the price channel is direct to these levels. And if you pulled out a pitchfork, you'd also understand that we're direct with these levels. A larger pitchfork bringing us to the very beginning here. So now let's do a relative comparison with Litecoin, and also I'm going to explain to you why I think, you know, all the indicators are bullish on the 4-hour and the 1-day or daily candle for Litecoin. So if you look over here, you look at this. Gosh, my computer is messing up here. So if you look at that run, and you also look at this run, okay? Historical charts don't lie. You guys know that I'm always doing relative comparisons. Identifying a relative comparison is actually one of the hardest things to do in trading compared to everything else. But this is a relative comparison. Now, if you look at this, let's pull out some horizontal lines. Now, if you look at the fib level, we bounced down on the 0.618 fib level, and now we're basically bouncing off of the 50% fib level. Although it dropped down a little bit here, we're bouncing off the 50% fib level. And you can even see on the daily, we ended above that 50% fib level. So if you do a comparative analysis as well, which I usually include on every trade, we have what looks to be right here, that relative top. Let me change this. I'm going to keep that orange, and I'm going to map out this as well, right here, which was at the 0.618 fib level. So we have that level there after seeing, you know, considerable consolidation here, little bit of uptrending, which brought us to create this price channel, and then we moved to the upside and didn't break out of that and fell down. Now, if you look at the indicators, okay, look at the indicators. The stock, we're waiting for some upward movement on a daily. The daily is not the 30-minute time frame if you're new to trading. The daily is the opposite. I mean, the daily is a very long-term time frame. I think long-termers actually look at the 6-hour and the 4-hour rather than the daily. So looking at the stock here, I'm definitely looking for some upside for Litecoin. The RSI is diverging to the upside, as you can see, and also the on-balance volume is steadily increasing. Okay, so with that being said, we have a higher low with Litecoin. Okay, look at this. This green line implements a support zone. This support zone identifies, if we go down to the bottom of this wick, actually not even the bottom of the wick, the candle body here, it identifies at the top of this high here. And what was before this, we had a higher low with Litecoin. So I'm expecting this to pan out perfectly, and we're going to break out of this price channel. And my target is $80. Now, after we hit $80, this has nothing to do with relative comparison. I'm expecting to see a drawback after we hit $80, bringing us down to bouncing off of the 50% fib level right here. That's my expectation. So that's what I think of Litecoin. I think that I'm going to draw it out for you guys right here, not use a bunch of trend lines. I think that we're going to move, oh my gosh. I think we're going to move to the upside, okay? But we're not going to be breaking into a new all-time high or testing the all-time high. I think that we're going to be moving back down and almost, in a sense, bouncing off of either the 0.618, actually, I think I said 50% fib level before. That's possible as well. Now, we can either bounce off the 0.618 and move up here, and if we bounce off the 0.618 and also the 0.50 fib level, I'm expecting not a test of the all-time high. I'm expecting a new all-time high. So that's a scenario, and we could also bounce off the 50% fib level, moving to the upside. Of course, we're going to see probably once we hit the top of this fib level, let's map it out real quick. If we hit the top of this fib level, I'm expecting a drawback. If you go to the 4-hour time frame, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. Let's go to the 4-hour time frame. Oh gosh, that's really bad. All right, let's look at this. So if you look at the 4-hour time frame on the all-time high, right here. Right here. So if you look at that, I'm expecting a drawback where we just mapped it out at this orange level at $89 or roughly $90. This is all, you know, somewhat close to accurate. You can't be 100% accurate all the time. So that's what I'm thinking with Litecoin. Let's get back to the 1 day so that we don't get confused. Yeah, so that's what I'm thinking with Litecoin. I do have my positions with Litecoin. Now we could see here on the daily candlestick, I don't expect the daily candlestick to double bottom or move to the downside. Now we have that support here at $54.22. If we break through that support, I'm a little bit bearish. If we break through this price channel, I'm about as bearish as you can be. If we break through on a daily with the finishing candle body below the bottom of this price channel, if we end below that on a daily candlestick, I'm bearish, like 100%. But we could see a double bottom from here at the support at 54.22, or we could see a test of the bottom of this price channel, which I'm not expecting either of those. I'm just expecting a move up to $80, obviously with some breaks in between. So that's my analysis on Litecoin. The higher low, which perfectly maps out, you can see we had here, and I was talking about in Crypto Campus how when you usually see a little bit of exuberance from a low, you usually see a double bottom from that exuberance. So that's why you don't FOMO, and then the FOMO begins on most of the time, and you'll see that oftentimes as well. So that's my expectation for Litecoin. What else? We're going to go over a few other things as well. I have a lot of notes here. There's some things you should keep in mind that what I think would bring us to a possible end, and we've already talked about this, what I think that could possibly bring us to an end to this bull cycle with Bitcoin. You know, there's always going to be some huge FUD that ruins the bull run. That happens, and especially since we're in the fifth wave here, that gives a lot of opportunity to see a terrible bear market that could lead us to lows that we would never expect. Okay, guys? And I made notes of this before I'm saying it. So we talked about in previous live streams about USDT Tether, which is not US dollar. I know someone, I think it was one of my devout followers, I think he's in the crypto campus, he talked about how he didn't even know that Tether is not the same thing as the US dollar. Two very different things. USD Tether is on the Ethereum platform, and it is supposed to mimic the US dollar. Now, there's a lot of controversy behind that, and people think that it's going to could be the next black swan event for Bitcoin. And I think that's an absolute fact that can possibly happen. If we get to the end of this fifth wave, that's the fifth wave, ladies and gentlemen. There's not going to be I think that this is a huge point after a huge bull run that we've seen this year. What could possibly be that black swan event? It could be USD Tether. They've been audited multiple times. There's a lot of shadiness behind that coin. So if we do see, a bear market after this, and we don't even hit 10,000, and if we even do, we see a bear market at that, which I'm really contemplating, we will see. I think personally, I'm going to put my call out there now. I think the next huge black swan event is going to be relative to USDT Tether, which will basically close the Bitfinex exchange, which they have a lot of liquidity with the USDT Tether coin. And also Bittrex trades USDT Tether as well, which could possibly cause them to close, which is another reason why you never leave your coins on the exchanges. I never, ever, ever leave my coins on the exchanges. So when we get to these levels, that's probably a good sign to not leave your coins on the exchanges because of my speculation. But that's what I think could really, cater to this black swan event. If we do have one, it would be probably because of USDT Tether. And that would be like an exit all markets trade to get the F out of everything, regardless if we do have something that happens later. I mean, you'll literally, once that news comes out with USD Tether, if it does, you'll probably not even, unless you have stop set, you'll probably, wake up and see some fat-ass red candlesticks. So that's all I have to say about that. That's where I think on Bitcoin and all the altcoins as well. Bitfinex is the largest volume exchange for Bitcoin, and there's a lot of reasons behind that. So keep in mind, read those articles that I have on Twitter, and also I think I talked about them in previous live streams. It's on medium.com about how USDT could trigger the next black swan event after a huge 5 Elliott wave run that we've had this year. So keep that in mind, ladies and gentlemen. So we have Litecoin, we have Bitcoin, we went over VTC, BTC, and also how I'm not bearish on Vertcoin. And hopefully we see some bullishness here, a continued move to the upside. But that is that. And we're going to go over a few other things as well. Hold on one moment, guys. Actually, let's go over to this. See, Litecoin. Litecoin has had continuous bots bringing us to the downside. I can't tell you what those bots are. I know people have been asking about that. But yeah, I think Bitcoin's going to continue to head up. I don't know why we're looking at GDEX. We already looked at Alright, so we're going to go over some news now. Actually, I'm going to check out the chat box real quick before we go over the news. I hope everyone caught all of that live stream. What's up, everybody? I'm going to check out the chat box, and then we're going to continue. Craig Grant acts like Ty Lopez of cryptocurrencies. I mean, I don't even follow the Craig Grant guy. I mean, I'm such a busy person myself. I have a hard time following what Charlie Lee says, which is interesting. Bitcoin diving board coming? Mt. Gox was huge and in the end didn't kill BTC. I don't think anything's going to kill Bitcoin. It's just I think that, you know, ending at the fifth wave like we're seeing with Bitcoin right now, I think that USDT could be the next Black Swan event, like I've already said before. But you guys know my analysis, so. Make sure to smash that like button, guys, and make sure to subscribe to my channel. And also follow me on Twitter. My Twitter channel is @CryptoHedge_. Right here. We're going to go over Charlie Lee's Twitter as well. He has some tweets that I want to go over and my personal opinions on them. Why is Crypto Campus rates more expensive? What happened to the 0.01 Bitcoin? Still waiting you to get back to me. Michael, I will get back to you. You could DM me right now and I'll get back to you. I just have, you know, even though I've gone through a lot of my DMs, I still have hundreds of DMs I have to go to, and it's just, I'm trying to get through them, so bear with me. But the reason why the fee has increased is because we did a poll in the group if people either wanted us to put a cap size on the group or they wanted us to increase the amount of people in the group, and everyone agreed, for the most part, for us to increase the fee to 0.015. So that's why the fee is where it is now. But we have a lot of things in stores for Crypto Campus, like unbelievably huge things coming for Crypto Campus. I can't even put it into words how big some things are coming for that. But you just have to wait and see, because we're not finished yet. So stay tuned for that. I think you're mistaken, Crypto Hedge. Bitcoin won't drop like that. I'm just giving scenarios. I'm not saying that after the fifth wave we're going to zero. Don't you know, try not to put words in my mouth. I'm not saying that's going to happen. I'm just saying that if we do see a Black Swan event, it would be because of USDT Tether. But these are, you know, went over the rising wedge. I went over my targets. Even though we could even hit, you know, $10,000 if we break out of this rising wedge to the upside. But those are my scenarios right now, and I think after the fifth wave we should see a relatively large pullback. Okay, guys. As you say, we don't have coins on the exchange. We can't stop loss. Anyways, hope it doesn't happen soon. I agree with you. You can't stop loss if your coins aren't on the exchange. I'm just giving scenarios, guys. I'm not a financial advisor, and I'm just giving you my speculation. You know, is the Black Swan event going to happen with USDT Tether? It's possible, but it also could never happen, okay? So that's my personal speculation. I'm always trying to give you all the scenarios. You know, we could hit 7,500, we can hit 8,000. We can also go all the way up to 10,000 if we break out of that rising wedge. And we can go down here. Could not even be this low of an ABC correction. It could literally be, you know, it could be down to here. I would have to do my analysis on that in future videos. I'm just giving you guys scenarios. Why will Vertcoin keep going up? I suggest watching the beginning of the live stream. We're going to go over some news real quick. After the 2x fork, Bitcoin will pull back, but not much, and then boom to the moon. I think that it will absolutely pull back more than what we saw on the Bitcoin gold fork. I mean, we barely even saw a pullback, and I told you guys that I wasn't expecting, you know, much of a pullback at all. If you guys watched that live stream, I didn't think there was going to be much of a pullback from the Bitcoin gold fork, especially since we have the second fork coming, which is going to bring us to these higher levels. But after we hit that level, that higher level, I think that we're going to see, you know, more of a considerable pullback than what we saw with Bitcoin gold, bringing us down to possibly like around $5,000. If we don't see, I mean, basing off of technical analysis, it might not even be $5,000. But, you know, obviously, you know, we could not even have the Black Swan event, so anything can happen. The Tether bubble will break. I do think Crypto Hedge is right on about that one. Thank you, Morse Code. Definitely look into USDT Tether. It's not a joke. They are being audited, and they are not in good standing right now. And I think that can absolutely, like I said, cause a Black Swan event. So I'm just giving the awareness. I don't think anyone, there's not one YouTuber out there talking about this possibility. They're just all hyped up on this bull run. You know, I mean, gosh, it's like YouTubers out there with 70,000 subscribers, and they're like the biggest noobs of them all. So I'm just trying to give you guys my personal opinion and speculation off of, you know, my experience and stuff. So just, I'm not perfect, okay? I'm not perfect. But, you know, I'm just trying to give you guys things before it happens. You are the only one talking about the fifth wave. I don't know if I am, Joe. What's up, Joe Marshall? I'm glad to have you. For some crazy chance you lose your assets, you can't sue yourself. If Coinbase lose your assets, you can sue them. In USC and Cali, suing is easy. That's funny. Yeah, I think, you know, they have the insurance and whatnot like that with Coinbase. When Hillary Clinton gets arrested tomorrow, we'll all go down so hard. I know all the conspiracies with the whole shooting in Las Vegas. I'm kind of in on those conspiracies. I think that's an absolutely crazy event, and how the, you know, authorities can't keep their SHIT together. That's pretty interesting as well. But I'm not going to get into that. This is a cryptocurrency YouTube channel. I would not be surprised if the stock market crashes and the Bitcoin booms. We're overdue for a stock market crash. That could absolutely happen, AeroCloud. I agree. I think that's an absolute possibility. That's another scenario. Glad you brought that up. Alright, so let's get over to the news. It's out of control. Yeah, it is out of control. I don't understand. I can't even put into words that whole event that happened. I just think it's total, utter BS on how they're, you know, treating the case. But let's get over to other stuff. So Bitcoin breaks above $6,000 on hopes of China will lift the ban. I don't know what they mean by on hopes of China lift the ban. They've already lifted the ban. Maybe they're waiting for China to come out with more news or something like that. I know that they're waiting for the lift of the ICO ban, but they never really banned cryptocurrencies. So interesting article. Right here, Chinese might be able to trade Bitcoin again soon. They're regulating the exchanges. I don't know why they're saying that either. They came out saying that they're regulating them, not closing it down. So it's not going to be a individual, you know, peer-to-peer point-of-sale transaction in person with Bitcoin. I know that they're trying to do an over-the-counter thing with Bitcoin in China, supposedly, with the rumors. But I don't know why we're seeing China might be able to trade Bitcoin again. They never closed it down. They're regulating exchanges. So I didn't even read that article. I don't need to, but I'll probably read it after this. Bill Miller has 30% stake in Bitcoin, sees adoption as key to success. Awesome bullish news once again. Drunk the Kool-Aid. This is a pretty funny post. Drunk the Kool-Aid. Get ready for Bitcoin vodka. A Russian entrepreneur has filed 3 patent applications that would grant him the right to distribute vodka that trades on the Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Ethereum Classic brand names. That's pretty hilarious. Adoption, adoption, adoption. What is this? There are now more than 120 hedge funds focused solely on Bitcoin digital currencies. Solely on Bitcoin, not alternative coins. But we went over in a previous live stream about how they have a license to trade any cryptocurrency. So I think that they're going to start off with Bitcoin. They're going to move over to alternative coins. So you guys already know that. We went over that. Let's go over to VTC BTC. I'm going to chat with you guys in the chat box. If you have any questions, please let me know. Let me know, let me know. Let's go to the 4-hour here. Yeah, Dogecoin had some insane volume. Pretty crazy. Why will Vertcoin keep rising? We already went over why I think Vertcoin has a possibility of continuously rising. So make sure to watch the beginning of this live stream when I did cover Vertcoin. Ignore the big banks. They want Bitcoin to fail. It's a direct competitor to them and cuts their income. I think there's a lot of controversy behind Bitcoin, and, you know, I think we've already talked about this on who created Bitcoin and what's the real objective, what's the real plan with Bitcoin, what's going to happen. And I think that I already went over the speculation, but, you know, nobody knows who created Bitcoin. Enough said on that point. I don't think anyone will ever know, and I know a lot of people think that, you know, it was made by the CIA, blah blah blah. You know, nobody can come out with a firm fact on, you know, who created Bitcoin, what's the real plan with Bitcoin. And I think that, you know, I have my personal conspiracies and speculation in mind, that I have probably shared before, but I don't want to stress on simply because I think people would probably be emotional for the most part. But I think the creator of Bitcoin is probably someone you wouldn't expect to be the creator of it. I think that there's a much larger plan behind cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin than, just becoming the tyranny state, not tyranny, whatever, I can't even think of the word, but anti-government state worldwide. I don't think that's necessarily, I think that we're moving into what looks to be a, worldwide event of moving towards digital currencies and also having worldwide currencies instead of, just currencies per country. I think that we're moving towards seeing, a one world currency, one world financial system. That's what I think is happening. If you think I'm outright crazy, we'll see. Okay? Won't we? We'll see. We'll see. Okay, guys? You got the best streams, bro. Morse code approved. Thank you, Morse code. I appreciate that. Crypto was created for the elites and governments to erase their debt and revamping of life as we know it. Nice analogy there, Michael. Can you put up the link for the new wallet for Vertcoin? I don't have the link. Tone Vase recently uploaded a hilarious crypto scam, crypto hedge funds video. So many unqualified people are starting crypto hedge funds. Must see. I'll go look at it. If I could, and I would travel the world without a currency and exchange. I mean, having a one world currency is extremely convenient. It takes out the complete inconvenience of transferring money overseas. That's a huge inconvenience, and it's large fees due in part because of that as well. But that is that. If Bitcoin reached 1 million, then SN would be worth over $1 trillion. The Satoshi group could literally be anyone, a death cult, Islam, or whatever. Yeah, I mean, we don't know who created Bitcoin. We don't know who created cryptocurrencies. You can only make conspiracies, honestly, so. However, for us early adopters will benefit, so who cares who came up with it, I guess. Dogecoin jokes will not die at all. I guess Dogecoin has been around for a while. Dogecoin has been one of those joke meme coins for years. It's been that tip coin. It's been a tip coin. So USDT Tether. USDT Tether is supposedly backed by the US dollar. And I think that we all kind of understand that that's pretty illegal. So they've been audited multiple times. They've had a lot of suspicious activity as well with their team and their website and stuff like that. I would just do a little bit of research on USDT Tether. It's a very interesting topic, which, like I said, could trigger a Black Swan event. Dash to the moon? I mean, I hope Dash to the moon. I'm waiting for my ASIC miner to come in to start mining Dash. A global singular coin would be devastating. People need choice. Yeah, I don't think it's going to be one coin just like you have multiple banks. I think it's going to be multiple coins that all have their own specific niche and trait, feature. I think that's what's going to happen. I think I'm treating cryptocurrencies like a currency, not a storage device for online storage, which could happen. But Black Swan is a big dive down. I mean, I think that if the financial system falls apart, I think that the biggest targets are going to be the people with cryptocurrencies or Bitcoin, because I think that's the new gold and silver, not necessarily people with physical silver, but you never know what could happen. Anything could happen, guys. I believe in ASIC resistant coins, but bought an ASIC miner. I believe in Vertcoin since it has that specific trait as being ASIC resistant. I'm not biased on any coin, maybe a little bit biased on Ethereum, but I don't really understand if you're trying to be derogatory. I think that, like I said, I think there's multiple coins that will shine and be successful, not just Litecoin or Bitcoin. I think there's other, I said follow the SegWit coins. How many times have I said that? And the SegWit coins have been doing the best. Decred, I think Decred's amazing. Self-governance system. But yeah, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this live stream. Make sure to smash that like button. Also follow me on Twitter. Well, let's go over this real quick before I even finish off here. Let's go over something Charlie Lee said. Charlie talking about how he's not going to pump Litecoin. He said something previously, though, I wanted to go over. Let's see. Charlie Lee's the man to follow if you don't follow him. Luke has been crapping on Litecoin for years, but this is a new low. I think he's jealous that he didn't create Litecoin himself. Charlie Lee has no chill. I mean, I'm not really going to go over everything on Charlie Lee's Twitter, but make sure to smash that like button. Thank you for tuning in, guys. My Twitter handle is @CryptoHedge_. So make sure to follow me on Twitter as well. And also subscribe to my channel. You guys are awesome. I hope you had a fantastic end to your weekend, and get ready for a new week. Monday is tomorrow. Take care, guys.